Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. Burnley 3, Everton 2. Somehow Everton managed to throw a perfectly good 3 points out the window. 3 points that I think personally would have seen us safe. I think it would have got us in a position and put them in a position where a couple more wins and I think we would have been fine. The opposite happened, and now I personally don't know how we stay up. I really don't. Just watching the mentality and of the football team and how Burnley beat us, it was just an all-round bad night. Yeah,
it is difficult when you snatch defeat from the jaws of victory as Everton did. That's 2-1, even though there was a lot of time to play. I felt we were quite comfortable. I didn't see. They're obviously always dangerous off corners and set pieces, of course they are. But we were coping, apart from one, all right with them, because they had a lot at the end of the first half, which we kind of dealt with. But it's the mentality of the players that it's just not strong enough. Burnley have got a good mentality. Their players battle and scrap for everything, and in Tarkowski at the back, throwing himself in the way of everything, and that makes them all do the same.
Yeah.
We just simply haven't got that. We didn't have that, and to lose a game like this was what did we say going into it? It'd be great to win it, and the opportunity were there. And I fancied Everton. I don't know why I fancied Everton quite strongly, and the game played out kind of the way I thought it would, where I thought we'd have quality in the final third. We looked a threat, but we didn't take chances, and in the end, they've hung on in there, and we only had to survive another 5 or 6 minutes. We'd have got a draw, and even though it wouldn't have been ideal, we'd have gone, well, at least we've kept them away from us. Got a point away at last. And we ended up losing the game.
The thing about it is, though, I mean, you used the word survive there. We weren't really under the cosh.
No.
You know, we were, you know, the third goal especially, we were pushing ourselves, and not with any real sort of, it wasn't like it was we were peppering their goal.
No.
But
we were looking probably the more
if we'd actually maybe brought a Fabian Delphon or something like that and got hold of the midfield.
Yeah. Be surprised he never come on.
Yeah,
do you think he's fit?
Maybe he might be fit.
Why would Lampard kind of talk about him like he's back and then not even put him on the pitch?
I don't know. I think I've stopped genuinely thinking that football managers know more than anyone else. Yeah. I genuinely do think like that after what we've gone through in the last 6 years. Started thinking they are just normal human beings who just make decisions based on instinct rather than any tangible evidence. But we didn't. We made mistakes. We threw it away, and as I said, the game wasn't a very high quality game. And we've allowed a team like Burnley to score 3 goals against us. I mean, that to me is the biggest indictment, is that, yeah, we scored 2 penalties and we haven't been very good at the other end. I appreciate that, but we've let Burnley score 3 goals against us. A team who can't score goals, and we've let them score 3. And it's, that to me is, I look at the rest of the season, I think, if you concede 3 goals to Burnley, what hope have you got against other teams? You look at like the Newcastle game, and I know Newcastle probably played better that night, but we hung on and we managed to get the win because we dug it in.
Didn't give up many chances.
We didn't give it up, didn't give the game up, we dug in and we managed to get a chance. And last night there was an opportunity and we completely threw it away, and I don't know. I've never really felt as low as I did after the game last night. It just all come crashing down because I know it's dead easy for the manager of both sides actually to come out and say, well, there's all these points left, but football is about momentum. Football is about emotion. Football is about belief. And I think a lot of people at the end of last night's game just felt not necessarily that they didn't believe, which I don't think they do, but that the players don't believe. Because how can you watch players play the way we did last night and believe that they can get themselves out of it when there's this, I don't know what it is. It doesn't, I don't necessarily think they think it's still a real thing, because I don't see people, a whole team, a whole unit, giving everything, giving absolutely everything. Because if they were, they wouldn't have scored the second and the third goals. They simply wouldn't. The first goal is one of them where you get caught quite early, and we're not great at set pieces anyway. And it's a poor goal to concede. But after we conceded that goal, we did settle down. But the second goal and the third goal are just horrendous. Where just putting effort. The kind of effort where you're like, I am not going to let this team score today, or score because we're winning. And it wasn't there. And you just think, well, if that belief's not there from the players, that runs through to the fans. And I think a lot of Everton fans today are starting to accept that we will be relegated.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for other people. I can only speak for me. And did last night just look at it and think, they don't understand where they are. I don't believe that. I don't believe it as a footballer. You understand where you don't understand. You've made it, somehow you've made it into the Premier League by having to do stuff every day and work and play games. You must understand the importance of it. I can only think that they're gripped by fear, but I can't even use that as an excuse, because fear, when you're playing in a game of footy, everything goes to one side. You can be fearful before the game and fearful after the game, but in a game, you play what's in front of you, surely. And as a professional, you're trained to play what's in front of you. We know that the mentality of this team is weak, but we can't get away from the fact that every game was single-handedly making mistakes that lead to goals.
Yeah.
With the most errors leading to goals in the Premier League. That's not a coincidence. They keep doing it week after week. We've done it at West Ham on Sunday. We've done it at Burnley last night. We've made stupid decisions from players who aren't good enough. John Joe Kenny was out of contract at the end of the season, and he's still playing in our first team. Are they going to give him another contract? I'm not so sure they are.
No, they shouldn't.
Seamus Coleman wasn't there, has been run ragged, and we never, we've made bad decisions all season. But I would have Seamus in every day of the week over John Joe, because I think John Joe had a good little spell the other, but these players, Mason Holgate's another one who's threatened to do all right at times, and then, like last night, 2 minutes in, gets booked for, there was no reason for that rash challenge. Just jockey, just press. Don't give you, we saw it on Sunday.
Best players don't tackle.
You don't need to. You just press and make them do something, and then he can't, his natural game's gone then, because he's on a booking. You think, well, if I do one misplaced challenge, now I'm off. And Alex Iwobi, has looked better in games recently, but apart from a couple of passes, done nothing last night. And it's all of these bits. Ben Godfrey was excellent last season, albeit mainly at left back. Has looked a shadow of himself this season. Mistakes, can't get off the floor, positionally not very good. When you put it all together, you can see why they lost the game. And the worry is now, is that even though maybe they've got more talent, maybe, in attacking areas than the teams who are around them, if you can't see a game out where you're not really under the cosh, how are we going to see games out against better sides? I personally I don't think it's over. I did kind of have a little bit of acceptance last night that it may well be. But I think I've got up today, and I think we've got enough points to play for at home. And the only reason why I feel like that is because it will be of us. It won't be because of the players. It'll be the fans that drag them through any kind of game now at Goodison. And Yerry Mina will be back for Leicester, which gives me a bit of hope, and that's a very winnable home game. But away, I look at away games and just think, we haven't got a chance. And how can you say that with 4 away games to go, that you don't think your team will get a point? One draw. Well, how can we just sit here and go, we'll lose every away game? How? It's not acceptable in any level. At any level, it's not acceptable. And yet I'm looking at it, I'm going, Anfield, yeah, all right. Team that's going to, you know, was challenging for the title, yeah, we'll go there and be mentally strong when they're raiding, flying at you.
Yeah.
Watford, okay, well, who knows, but that they could well beat us, but, you know, that might be the one where Everton stand up and get, you don't know. Leicester away, again, a team not playing for anything at that stage, but the quality that they've got gives them the freedom. It does. You can, I remember Sheffield United going there last year and things like that. Teams have gone there and won where you don't expect. But it's still, if Leicester click, they'll batter us. Arsenal batter us last day because they'll probably need to win for the Champions League. So we're not getting anything there. So that puts all the pressure then back on you with Goodison to go, well, we've got 5 home games. If we get 3 wins and a draw out of 5 and that's still having another loss in there, then yeah, I think we'll be safe. Just like, literally just. But I can't sit here and go to you, oh, we'll definitely win them games because we're not looking solid enough to win games. If you've got a defence that's quite solid, you can think if we get that chance for Richie or we get that chance for Dom, we'll be able to, well, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, that's another story, but if we get them a chance, we can hold out. Right now, you're looking at that, and unless Yerry will make a difference, but God, he's going to have to come back and make an unbelievable difference because everybody else is minging at the moment, bar Branthwaite. I thought he was the only one I thought come out of the defence last night with any real credit. Yeah. And so when you look at it like that, no wonder people are very, very nervous today.
I think it's more than nerves. I think genuinely a lot of people have accepted that this team is just not good enough. It doesn't have. It's not even that it's not good enough. It doesn't have the character.
There's no character.
It doesn't have a leader. It doesn't have the amount of. It doesn't have the right amount of players who are gonna give everything. Like I said before, it's characterless. It has a lot of these just very modern, came through academies, never really had any hardship at all on the pitch, off the pitch, and therefore there's, you know, you can see last night Richarlison and Anthony Gordon were the 2 hardest working players. One because that Richarlison, that's just his nature. I know he's not always like that. Sometimes he has quiet games, but last night he wanted it. There was a
or his best position.
Yeah, not his favourite, but his best. There was a real desire on the other side. You had Anthony Gordon, who's a young lad who just wants to work his backside off for Everton Football Club and doesn't want to lose. He's, you know, and everywhere else you've just got chances. Yeah. You've got chances. You've got players who, to me, don't understand the position in, and just don't understand the basics of playing football, of doing what needs to be done. But the problem is though, Baz, going back to what you said about Holgate believes that's what you need to do, and it's not. No. That's not what you need to do. You need in the centre of the park 2 minutes in a game when you're feeling each other out and you've watched the opposition videos and know out where they're good from. You know that going through someone is not.
If you're giving them a chance to put the ball in the box straight away.
But a Burnley player is not going to go on the floor, start rolling around. He's going to go down if he's here, but if he's not, he's just going to bounce up and go, lad, I'll do that all day. If you want to do that all day. That's again, no. You make fouls, say, for like the second one when it's second goal, when it's on the touchline and there's an opportunity to stop the play and you're not going to be booked for it. That's where you make fouls. You make fouls 5 minutes in and suddenly that's your game plan out the window for what you're going to do.
See, that's why I just don't believe Delph was fit. Because I think Lampard, he's done it before, don't forget, Alan got booked after 20 minutes at Southampton, he took him off at half time. Yeah. To say last night, Delph wasn't fit. And it shouldn't have been on the bench, but because otherwise, why wouldn't he have replaced him with 15 minutes to go, replaced Holgate and gone? Unless you go with the height thing. You'd replace him with half an hour to go, wouldn't you? You would have, because there was a time there, though, where we were on top in terms of we had the ball, but we needed someone to use it better. Yeah. Holgate wasn't using. All right, he breaks stuff up for you at times, and he'll compete, but he's not using the ball. He's not someone who uses the ball very well. So it's not. And I'm not saying, listen, I'm not being a hypocrite here and going, Delph would have sorted everything, because he wouldn't, but he's better than Holgate. Yeah. He's played for Man City for 4 years. He knows the position. He will put his foot in. And maybe the manager's just looked and gone, still unsure about whether he's fit enough. But, you know, we started the game poorly. And it's funny because I'm sat there, again, I've said, you know, I'm sat there watching the game and we're all laughing going, maybe this will be the reverse of normal. Because lately we've been coming out the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes looking quite good. Yeah, yeah. And we weren't. We started off shaky. We were like, maybe, and then the next minute we go behind. You know, and we can see the goal. And I'm blaming the goalkeeper for this, for me. It's all on Jordan Pickford, the goal for me. It's a corner to the back post. And again, I can't make my mind up whether Holgate should be marking Collins or whether he's too worried about the fella in front of him. But there's two Everton defenders there in front. But the goalkeeper, I've never known a goalkeeper, when the ball goes in the net, to be outside the two posts as much as Pickford. If you look where he ends up almost in the Everton fans. I don't know where the fuck he's going. He doesn't come to and miss it. He jumps, he runs to one side of his goal and jumps outside the post. And all the lad does is flick it if he's standing in the middle of his goal to catch. It's a simple catch and the pressure's gone. And it's like, what are you doing? And then after that, he kind of stayed where he should have stayed all game. And he had no other issues, really. And it's like, when he's the captain making that mistake, you're on the back foot. From there, though, I thought Everton, after the 5 minutes after the goal, I thought we recovered quite well. And we got a foothold in the game, and it was like we started passing the ball around then. And right up until the half-time whistle, Everton were way the better side until they got a few corners the last couple of minutes of the first half. But we recovered really well. And we go and get the penalty, the first penalty, and it was like, right, you're awake now, go on. And you know what? I thought they did after going behind. I thought they kind of did take the game to them and just looked like
getting the goal back early was you know huge.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think it was 6 minutes, and obviously
it's a penalty. What I've seen some Burnley fans on the thing going, 2 contentious penalties. You're like, really? 2 stone walls.
Yeah, he gets himself in front of him and he puts an arm on him.
And then clips the back of his head.
That's a penalty.
It's a penalty.
Charleston puts it away brilliantly. And then we went for it then. And, you know, second, you know, again, we didn't pepper the goal with opportunities. We had a couple. There was the one where Charleston had it, and I'm just thinking, why didn't you just shoot?
When he tries to think it's
to give it back to Dom.
Oh my
God.
God.
Just shoot?
It's it, because if Pope parries it, Dom's got to tap in anyway.
Can I ask him playing up front? Take your chance then. Like, take a chance, sorry.
Just hit the target, yeah.
But then we get another penalty. Michalenko gets his leg swept.
Did it really need to be looked at 56 times? He just swept his leg. You know what was crazy? The other angle that the TV had showed it. The VAR angles. This was the same with... Did I see it the weekend? There was something at the weekend. It wasn't the Everton game. It was the same. The VAR angle was wrong. Like, you couldn't really see. And when it showed you the reverse with the cameras at, it was clear as day. And that was what was last night.
As soon as you seen it, I knew it was a penalty because he swiped his leg.
And Lennon, you could see Lennon's face. Even, I had the zone, so Stephen Warnock's like, all the referee had to do there was look at Aaron Lennon.
There's no natural way you can actually do. I don't think you can do that to yourself.
Your legs can't.
You can't swipe your own, pull your leg that way. So it was a penalty. Again, Richarlison done brilliantly. And we were just in control. Like
Did your bottle go when he was taking the second one?
Bottle him in the first one, actually, but fair play to him.
Because I was thinking, does he change his mind?
And then, they had a couple of late set pieces, which we dealt with once. After the first set piece, we dealt with most of them quite well. We got players in the right position. And then it was just like we got out that Richarlison grew, started slowing the game down, moving it around, moving the ball from the left to the right. He was really
shoot enough.
No, but I don't know whether that's a confidence thing or it's a
not just him. I mean, because a few times on the counter attack near the end of the first half, we had it around there.
He had one. Was it a 1-1 where the keeper had tipped it over the bar? There was that one.
Gordon had the chance. The core, a couple of them edge of the box. Wobie, where it just hit it, pull the trigger.
Might get a deflection,
especially when we're set. For them players who were attacking players, and we've got players, have a pop there. But we got in at half time. And you're thinking that was all right. That we're winning 2-1. We've responded really well.
They looked
down. Their heads went down, didn't they? They looked like we're in a bit of trouble here. Half time probably come at a good time for them, and obviously after the game you heard Dyche's comments, but we come out for the second half sluggish again, didn't we?
But like you said there, Dyche had said to them, these don't know how to win. And he's put it on them. Go and win the game. Throw everything at them.
But we did have 2 opportunities
no, I know.
to put the game to bed.
And they've come out, started well, and we've counter-attacked well. And, with Richardson got the chance, and he's obviously at the outside of the post or the side net. And
outside of the post.
I think, I looked at it and thought, the call he was on for the tapping there, if he smashes that in with pace, the call he's on for the tapping. Could he have... Should he have put it across? I think whatever happens, he should have put it across the keeper because there's plays in the box. If it drops, we've got a tap in. Yeah. He's done
the hard way. He sat the fella down in front of him, didn't he? Because it comes, Gordon does brilliantly, breaks, plays it into him. He takes a touch, he could hit it, but he doesn't. He slows it down, then he goes beyond the fella. If he goes back to the far corner, if Pope gets a hand, Dom's there, the Corey's there, you've got to tap him. But I think if he lashes it across Pope, it's a goal. Because Pope can't... To be fair, Pope gave it up anyway. He just went like that. He didn't know where it was going, here, there, everywhere, and then it's the post. But you've always got to go back across.
The worst thing is I watched him score one for Brazil last week. But he does that. He's on the right-hand side, and he comes inside, and he curls one in to the bottom corner. He goes across the goalkeeper. And yet, he goes on the outside, and you're thinking,
Well, we hit the post there, and then we have another counter-attack before they equalise, where we play John Joe Kenny in, and he's got a Wobie and a Charlison on their own, and he just doesn't take any care with it, and drops it over, and it hits the bar, doesn't it, and goes over top of the bar. But if he hits it square, they just got to header it, because the keeper's out of position. Dom's marked, but he's took all the defenders with him, and the 2 of them are stood on their own. And if he could have stopped it and played it, or if he just takes care, and it's moments like that where better teams, or even teams like when Watford battered us at home, they just took those opportunities when they came along. We passed them 2 up, and before you know it, it's 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, started on the right-hand side, players not dealing with the ball, letting them get a couple of touches, knocks it over into the space behind Kenny, and before you know it, he's into the box.
Well, I've got the goals here on the still, so let's go through them. So this is where it started. So Everton cleared the ball, actually, goes up to the halfway line, and Dom's with Tarkowski. And for me, Dom should just foul him, because he's going to let him out anyway. He should foul him, and then Tarkowski comes out with it and flicks it down the line. And I've got Cornet circled there, because look at him. If the lad plays it round, Taylor plays it round the corner, Cornet's in.
Yeah.
Holgate should be with him, but he isn't. Then we move it on to the next.
He isn't.
Well, he isn't, is he? So we move it on. 1. Kenny's commit. I mean, what's that by John Joe Kenny? But it's neither here nor there. So Holgate's got a track in, but we're all right. Mikalenko's got fat lad on the fat, Aaron Lennon. Brantwaite's got their player there. It's Rodriguez. Godfrey's looking after Weghorst, and Holgate's tracking Cornet. But Kenny's out the game. Kenny's totally out the game. If we go on again, 1 to the next one, look at how much ground Kenny's got to make up now.
But look where he is, though, right? If you're Kenny there,
he should be done.
You run infield. Yeah, you don't run out to him. You run in. You cut
the space off.
You cut the space off because you know. Listen, that lad wasn't lightning.
No.
You know where he's going to go. If he throws across him from there, we're fine. We'll deal with that. Yeah. So you cut off the space. You can make the smallest run as possible, the shortest amount of space.
If he runs at a diagonal towards our 6-yard box, he'll catch him or get closer to him. We run it on. See, Kenny still hasn't made the ground up. But look at this. I've got Rodriguez circled in the middle. He's on his own.
Yeah.
We've got Brantwaite's marking Weghorst. Fine. Mikalenko's looking after Lennon. Fine. Iwobi can track Cornet, who's behind him. We've got Godfrey and Holgate. One of them
attracted.
One of them should go to the space, and the other one should be looking at the striker. And yet both of them get attracted to the space. We knock it on again, and you see 1, 2, 3, 4 Everton defenders with 1 man, and Rodriguez is on his own, 6 yards out with a
There's 6 Everton defenders in the box, though.
Yeah.
Or 6 Everton players in the box, and he gets a tap in. That's pathetic. That is pathetic.
Yeah, it's awful. It's awful defending. You've got Holgate and Godfrey should be like, when Taylor's running, he should be looking, going, who am I marking here? And Godfrey should just be attracted to Rodriguez and go, I can't leave this man. Holgate can go and close the space. And he doesn't. And it's moments like this in a game that turn games of football. If Everton would have been breaking down the left like that, and it was Mikalenko Tarkowski wouldn't be leaving Dominic Calvert-Lewin on his own. There isn't a chance. There's not a chance. We don't need 2 men to go and screen at the front post. We don't. Branthwaite's got on it. It's fortuitous, of course it is. It goes through Jared Branthwaite's legs to Rodriguez, who's there. But if we would have tracked Rodriguez's run, if it had come through the legs, we're there to make a block. The lad's got even scored an easier goal all season. 3 yards out, tapping, no keeper. Because it's not to do with Pickford, he's done the right things onto his near post. Goes through Branthwaite's legs. You'd have that little bit of luck at times. We haven't got it. And Rodriguez knocks it in. And it was avoidable because if Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and people might go, yeah, but then that would have given a free kick away. And yeah, but we're defending a free kick 10 yards inside their half, up to the edge. You have your line on the edge of your penalty area and you deal with it. He should make the first foul. Kenny could even foul a lad on the touchline, doesn't, let him out. Makes the wrong run, and we leave players in the middle on their own. And the most basic Sunday league football team would say in any kind of training session or before any kind of game, whether the lads have just got out the pub and they're minging in the morning, their asses hanging out and everything, won't leave lads on their own in a box. They just won't. And yet we do. We just think, yeah, we'll defend this. We saw this last year with Godfrey. I remember Sheffield United at home when we got beat 1. A team that was relegated, by the way. And we went and tried to defend space instead of just marking the one man who's in the box. Fulham at home beat us 2-0. That Mathew, Josh Mathew, who only scored 2 goals all season, got them both against us. Twice Holgate and Godfrey went to defend space rather than defending a man. Just mark the man. Space, I've never seen Space score a goal, ever, unless there's a player called Josh Space or something.
Maybe.
He might have got a few.
Simon Space,
something like that. Kevin's son, Kevin Spacey. But it's one of them. Go and do your job, simple. Mark up, and therefore you sort it. And it's 2-2.
The worst thing about that is, and afterwards, you know, again, we got on the ball, and for 15 minutes we were in complete control, 10 minutes complete control, because it was like, well, it's 2-2 now, we better react. And not once in that time did we get ourselves in any kind of situation like that. It was all, get the ball on the edge of the area and stop. Never any fullbacks overlapping.
We had
on the run.
Didn't we? Dom had a header which he should have done. It was a great cross actually by Michalenko, which I don't understand why he doesn't do all the time. Just get out your feet and put it in. Don't need any skill. Luca Dean was brilliant at just taking a touch and putting it into the zone. Dom headed it over, he should have done better. And we had Jared Branthwaite heading one over off a corner. But you're right, we never got in round the back. We never committed them. We never made them face their own goal with firing balls across. You know what I mean? John Joe Kenny never, you know, after that one dodgy cross.
But that's what I was saying before about the Richarlison chance. The Richarlison chance, if he does that rather than, you know, what he did with the shot, someone's going to get a tap in, or you're creating that danger, you're creating that situation where it's not just a one-off. It's like, we can do this all night. And we could have done it. We could have, the amount of times after that we got to the edge of the box and then stopped and then passed it back and then passed it in the front and got into Wobie and then got into Corey. And then even then there's an opportunity for a shot, but no, we'll go back, we'll start again. And we just kept on doing it. If you're Burnley, that's bread and butter. What you need is players overlapping on the run, getting balls into the box. And
City beat, I know it's Man City, so it's a different kettle of fish, but City scored 2 against them at the weekend. Running to the line, cutting it back, tapping twice. And not once did we do. You'd be saying on the videos beforehand, this is where we score our goals. We get in behind and we cut. You make a run, we get in, and you've got a tapping. And yet we've got John Joe Kenny, got Michalenko, neither of them getting to that byline and firing it back. And to be fair to Michalenko, actually twice in the second half he got into those areas. His ball just wasn't good enough that he put across. Kenny didn't do it. And Wobie didn't do it. And Anthony Gordon didn't try it.
Kenny did it once, and obviously that's the one that
that's the one. He should have stood that. That should have been a better ball. But we need Anthony Gordon doing it. We need someone going on the outside to give him that space in front. Everton's biggest problem this season for me, where we've changed, because we've always been a team. Oh, no, always, let me check myself. We've been a team that has had better productivity when our fullbacks have overlapped. We've seen it with when Seamus was flying and we had Baines doing the same. We kind of like with the forerunners of the 2 overlapping fullbacks, who were brilliant. And then we've carried that on, Baines and Tilly, and then Luca Dean Cummins brilliant at it. And Seamus actually, when he's in a good bit of form, does it really well. This season, and Benitez started this season, he stopped our fullbacks overlapping. And so therefore our productivity on that has gone down. And he obviously fell out with listen, we know that the financial side of James Rodriguez meant he couldn't stay at Everton. I understand that. Or maybe if the manager would have he couldn't stay at Everton and not be used, is what I mean. Yeah. If he stayed at Everton, he had to play. But the manager didn't like him, so he was chased. Yeah. Bernard, you know, another footballer, but again, I understand the economic reasons of it. But players who had that creativity, we lost a player that we can't talk about, basically. So we've lost all the creativity. And what he also done was then fall out with the left-back, who was a big source of our goals. And he stopped our full-backs overlapping. And now we're in a situation where the new managers come in. And while I don't absolve Lampard of any blame, and I also don't put too much blame on him either, he hasn't had our full-backs overlapping.
I do blame him for not playing Nathan Patterson. No, I know, but I simply... No, I know, you're going to say something different, but I...
No, I'm not.
But I refuse to sit here and absolve him of blame for not playing Nathan Patterson. Nathan Patterson should have just come into the team.
What I was going to say.
No, I know, but I just wanted to make that point. Why was about right backs and full backs? Nathan Patterson should just come into the team, and he should have just been allowed to get on with it. Because we're in a situation where we're playing fucking John Joe Kenny at right back, and he's getting destroyed left, right, and centre.
My point was what I was going to get at. No, you're right. I probably would have said it a little bit more eloquently. Maybe, I don't know. No, I mean, I don't know. But that was what I was going to say. So I was going to say Lampard's come in and he hasn't had the fullbacks going on for the simple reason that James is coming to the end. We know that. He hasn't got the legs. But Patterson has got the legs. And he should have just been thrown in. And he should have learnt on the job. He should have. Yeah. It's not like... You know, I don't want to be too disrespectful to John Joe Kenny because he is what he is and we've known what he is. Yeah. We're all...
S-H-I-T-E.
There can't be many Evertonians, right, who are sat at home now going, oh, God, John Joe Kenny's really surprised me that he hasn't kicked on. I'm not having it. Most Evertonians will go, wants to do well, he's enthusiastic, but he's not what we need. We all kind of knew that. He's been out on loan. Celtic didn't want him. He had Schalke on loan. We didn't want him. And yet now, for some reason, he's kept Scotland's right back out the team. Instead of just going with Patterson, in you go. And you know, the first 4 games, you might be a little bit ropey. But, you know, in 4 weeks' time, you're going to be the source of what we do well. Because what I think Frank Lampard's done wrong, by cutting off our fullbacks, we haven't got... It's okay to cut you. Carlo did it. I know I'm not near, so I apologise.
No, that's fine.
Carlo did it last year. He stopped the fullbacks bombing on, well, Luca Dean. Yeah. But he had Rodriguez and he had Sigurdsson and he had that creativity higher up the pitch. It almost didn't matter for what.
But he also didn't have Luca Dean because he lost him for that injury.
But when Dean come back, he made sure we had 3 solid and Dean went on. Benitez stopped it, cut it, which is the reason why Dean fell out with him. Didn't want players to go over the halfway line. And Frank has come in and he talks about the high press and he talks about flying forward and all that. Great. All the stuff we want to see as Evertonians. But then he's put fullbacks in who can't do it. And Patterson's the biggest one. All right, Mikalenko, slightly different, might know the lead, but at least he gives you balance with the left foot on that side. But Patterson, to not play Patterson, if you want Seamus in the team, fine. No problem, he's a leader, whatever, fine. Right? Play him as the 3rd centre-back, because he does like to play 3 centre-backs. So he could have had, all of those games we played 3 at the back, it should have been Seamus as the right side, and then you could have picked the other 2. And they could have had Patterson. But right now, we're in a situation where we haven't got fullbacks who overlap. So we've got that gone out of our game.
Cut it out.
So already you're cutting down your creativity. And then ahead of that, Iwobi's hit and miss with what he creates. Decore wants to be the 10, really. Decore, or an 8, he wants to be the fella bombing, joining in at the end of the box. He's not going to dribble past 6 men. And so straight, you're cutting everything down. And that's why we've stopped creating so many chances.
Well, and that's why, you know, whether you like it or not, effort-wise or not, Dominic Calvert-Lewin hasn't scored any goals. You know, he scored 1 goal from a cross.
On day one.
On day one. He scored 2 penalties in the next 2 games and hasn't scored any other goals. You know, because we don't put the ball in the box for him. He's not doing his part. I appreciate that. But if you're not putting the ball in the box for him, if you're not creating scenarios where the ball's coming in 10 times a game
for him to compete,
for him to get the range, to get the little what he needs, to get an idea of what he's up against as a centre back, then what's the point? I don't understand. Frank Lampard's just completely. I don't get those tactics. I mean, you know, I know it's not on all in, but you've got to use what you've got. You've got to use what you've got, and you know, Rafa Benitez had this idea that he was going to have 10 to 15 crosses in a game because of Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
And that made sense, didn't it?
Because of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He was going to go, he knew wasn't going to have loads of players available, so we went for 2 players who we thought would create opportunities. And we have just completely cut the legs off one way of playing football that we got joy out of last season.
That's where I think Frank Lampard's gone wrong, is that he can't change too much because the players, he's 2/3 of the way in the season or whatever. You know, took over, his first game was in February, season finishes in May. But he hasn't used what he's got right. He's had a way of playing when he really should have just gone, I just need points. We'll do all this in the summer. I'll reconstruct this team the way I want it in the summer. You go with what you've got.
The Patterson thing to me, as I've said it before.
No, it's a massive thing.
It's a red flag. It's a massive red flag.
Strange.
And now he's gone for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Now we can't do that.
And Coleman, you know, we want Coleman in the team, but Coleman ain't overlapping. He ain't going to do that 10 times a game. No. It's just not going to happen.
Can he?
We had a chance to do it with a lad who will do it. I watched him play for Scotland twice, and he just keeps going. Doesn't matter what the quality of the game is, or what his quality is, he keeps going.
He stretches you, doesn't he?
But the game went a bit like, you know, then the game went a little bit like, there wasn't a lot of chances. There was a lot of like pinball at times. You have the ball, we have the ball, because neither team could keep hold of the ball. Because both very average, very poor sides, But again, it was a case for me of set pieces, deal with the set pieces, and we'll be all right. And then lo and behold, we're on the attack again. Pass. And 30 seconds later, the ball's in the back of the net and the game's over. And you think, is that it? Is that Everton season?
We have the ball on the edge of their box. And it's predominantly on the left-hand side. Got a lot of plays. And it gets rolled square to John Joe Kenny. 35 yards out or 30 yards out. And he tries to take a shot in the middle of the goal. And he doesn't hit it with any conviction. He doesn't shift it and then hit it so it's moving so you can swerve. He hits a shot that is literally a lazy thing. It's just lazy. You know, it does.
It's like I've got no other idea what to do here.
Instead of what he really should have done was put his foot on it and just dinked it back into their corner and where all our players were, and then just make sure he held his position. He hits a shot, it ricochets, and they just knock it, a simple ball down the line. Bounces, Jordan Pickford comes running out and makes a hash of his clearance. You know, he kicks that where he should kick it with his right foot and goes out for a throw-in in their half. There's no danger. Makes a hash of it, and we end up giving a throw-in, and we'll have a look at what happens from the throw-in. So they take the throw-in, and they knock it to Taylor, and he puts a ball in, and the first still is...
Which I actually thought was a foul throw, by the way.
Yeah, we didn't go fully behind. But the Corey can go and close the cross down, by the way, and he jogs out. But when you look at it, Everton have got 4 defenders. Corney's marked, who scores. This is Vidra with Holgate, that's fine. You've got Godfrey and Branthwaite, middle of the goal, where you'd expect them to be. Ben Godfrey, as that ball's coming, can take a touch and clear it.
He can do anything he wants.
Or he should be sweeping that away.
He can do anything he wants with it.
With his right foot. Right, if we move it on, this is after... Now look at his body shape after he's kicked it. Look at that for a body shape. His foot's all over the place. That's where the ball should go, where the arrow is. It doesn't. He slices it the other way. And yet we're still... You know, Corney's marked by Michalenko, Branthwaite's there, Holgate's looking after Vidra. And it's just it's a piss poor clearance, let's be honest. From there, we take it on to the next one. We can see we're in, you know...
They've still only got 2 men in the box.
Corney's still marked. We've got Holgate, Strack and Vidra, and you've still got Branthwaite and Godfrey in the centre of the goal. We move it on one more. So Vidra's got to the line. Holgate's too slow, he should be well closer. Yeah. Jogging. Them 2 have come into the middle of the goal. Michalenko's now got 2 players. Yeah. Why hasn't one of our centre-backs
gone out?
Had a look at Corney? Not one of them has reacted like the second goal. And then the final still. Look at how much space Maxwell Corney's got.
How has he managed to do
Godfrey
that?
Sat on the floor. Yeah. Branthwaite's in the middle of the goal. Michalenko, I can't really blame him because he's looking after... It's Dwight McNeil, isn't it? But Branthwaite or Godfrey on that have got to get to Corney. Neither of them go and do it. And the lads have got the simple task.
Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 Everton players. Yeah. And it ends up in the back of our net.
7 Everton players in the box.
7.
7 Everton players in the box. And they end up with a tap-in from 12, less than 12 yards.
That's about 7
8
yards.
That is pathetic.
Into the net.
That is pathetic.
And that, you know, you've lost the game. And did anyone believe after that we'd come back? No. I mean, we had a Rondon shot, which deflected just wide. It might have caused Pope a problem, I don't know. It deflected and the referee gave a goal kick, which was a bit... But it's not like we'd have done anything off the corner, because we didn't. We had enough corners and didn't bother them.
I think the only opportunity we had actually after 2-2, apart, it was the overhead kick. Which
was a good bit of a play by the Charlton, but that was it, wasn't it? And, you know, like you said, you mentioned before, and you're absolutely right, the substitutions were a little bit baffling, to say the least. Putting Rondon on him in a number 10, didn't get. Taking Anthony Gordon off for Damari Gray, didn't get. And the reason why I didn't get it was Gordon was working so hard down that side that he was protecting Kenny.
Yeah.
He was protecting and helping out, and yet he carried the threat. Gray come on, and don't get me wrong, I really like Damari Gray. I think he's been great this season, but since he's come back after the injury, he hasn't ignited at all. And he come on and he didn't really do a thing. No. He done nothing. You know, and Rondon, I can't have a go Rondon. He come on, he was on for what, 5 or 6 minutes, if that. I'm playing in midfield, what was he going to do? But you have to look at all the players in that side. Like I said before, I look at the defence. Mikalenko was okay, but he's still between the two. He looks terrified. Kenny not good enough. Holgate not good enough. Godfrey all over the place. I think Brantwaite, I think, did a good job last night. I think you look into midfield and you go, no, not really. And then I go into the front three and I go, Richarlison, excellent. Gordon, very good. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, piss poor. And you can't be the centre forward who we're relying on to get big goals for us and not trouble the centre backs. And that's what he did. He gave them their easiest night they probably had, because he didn't run around, he didn't stretch them, he wasn't winning anything in the air, which he normally does. We need more of him. There's 9 games to go. If Everton are going to survive, he's got to score 6 or 7 goals. Right now, I don't think he'll have 6 or 7 shots.
Yeah.
And that's where we are. We keep shooting ourselves in the foot. We thrown 4 points away from me this week. A point at West Ham, which we threw away, and we had 3 last night. And I'm not being disrespectful to Burnley there, but we were in control, and they didn't do anything that got them the win. We caused it ourselves. And that's, you know, fair play to them. They kept going and all that, and they took the chances. But as Evertonians, and we're going to look at it from our side, aren't we? We just threw those points away.
Well, as Sean Dyche said, we don't know how to win games away from home. The pressure was all on us.
Yeah.
And they went for it. They sensed it, and they didn't go. They made attacking subs. They took Weghorst off and brought on a couple of different kinds of strikers or attackers.
Yeah.
And they changed the way they played, and it got results. Whereas we don't do that.
No.
We you know, again, we only made 2 subs. You know, why aren't you going, let's bring Dele on to stretch them? Let's bring El Ghazi on to put crosses in.
Do you think the Dele thing's coming down to a financial thing now?
It can't, well, why you wouldn't have him on the bench.
What I mean, yeah, but he's got to play, hasn't he? What I mean is, is it a case of I'll only bring him on if I think he's really going to do something for a longer period.
I'm sorry, but no manager in the world.
Listen. That could be
but no manager.
No
manager in the world can dictate what something's going to happen. No manager can.
He could come on and score and it keeps us up, couldn't he?
Exactly.
I don't understand why he didn't put him on.
Something could just drop and he could hit it. It could have been him there instead of Kenny, and he could have just shifted it to the right and had a smack.
I don't understand why he didn't come on. I don't understand why, unless Delph's really injured. I don't understand why he didn't come on. His substitutions, I like Frank, and I think I like the coaching staff he's put in. Results don't bear that out at the moment. But
the jury's very much out.
Well, the jury's got to be out because you keep playing away games and keep getting beat.
We play home games and get beat.
From no one at all. We won our last one. But yeah, poor. Very poor.
Aye, it was just shite, let's be honest. I mean, Burnley won the possession. I mean, what does that say about the game? I mean,
well, let's have a look at the stats from the game. 13 attempts from Burnley, 16 from Everton. Both have 4 on target. 3 big chances for Burnley, 2 for... But the 3 big chances were their goals, weren't they? 2 from Everton, 51-49. Burnley completed 11 more passes than Everton.
That's embarrassing.
The XG, Everton won the XG.
Oh yeah, I seen that. It was by a mile,
Yeah.
but once again, it
There
doesn't
you
really
go.
matter,
Doesn't-
does
no,
it?
It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Burnley won the game. Fair play to them, and
Momentum's with them now.
got to dust ourselves down now and somehow pull off a unlikely victory at the weekend.
Aye, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but there you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I think a lot of people feel after this result that it is gone. It is gone. We'll see. We'll see how the players respond. Saturday, 12:30 kick-off. Manchester United are there to be...
Gotta.
Yeah, they're there to be
Alan
got
will be back only, which is one
So-
good thing.
which, again, no shows how bad that decision was, getting sent off against Newcastle, how poor a
Well, ran out
decision.
the cup, lost 3 away games in it. He was out for 3 away games, he lost all of them. Well,
Yeah, there you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'll be continuing this on over on Patreon, where we are live right now. If you want to join us on Patreon, links in the description. It's also on the screen with the QR code. Thanks for watching. Don't have nightmares. We'll see you later.